All right, many thanks for staying with us. They say actions have consequences and our inactions to have consequences. And of course, they have repercussions. And our society and our environment are part of our actions. And I must say that part of our action about our environment, keeping our environments together. And of course, you know, we have the right person who is going to be throwing light on this. But before we go further, I think it's important for me to usher one of our co-hosts, I call her Tarudo. You know, she's back on the screen. And I must say, again, congratulations. We actually, you know, praised you in front of you, even after when you gave birth, even behind you. You've done wonderfully well. And thank you for being a good mother. Thank you for being a good partner. And truly, a good sister and co-host on this platform. We missed you. We missed you. We missed you, Dami. Let me come to you. I don't pass on the conversation to our house husband.
It's just blushing. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be back after 7 weeks of having to nurture another person, to bring another life to bear. I mean, so to speak. I missed the show. I missed everybody on the show. I missed all my fans. People were asking, checking, and all of that. I mean, I'm here, I'm back. And I want to use this medium to say thank you to my dear mother, my special mother, Mrs. Banire. She's been doing, I'm here because you're not hearing when. If not, motherhood in Nigeria sometimes is very overwhelming. But I want to say thank you to my mom. God bless you. And to my son too, who is new in Nigeria. I hope the weather he'll get accustomed, because we don't have dual citizenship yet.
Our husband.
Yes,
speak now, forever remains silent.
I want to say a very big welcome to our viewers who are watching us from all over the world. Wherever it is you're watching us from, I want to say welcome. It's Directly WK Show. My name is Marshall Anthony Onoye. We cannot start this show without saying thank you to our co-host mother. You know, she's got a title, you know. That's Mrs. Banire. I want to say thank you very much. We love you and appreciate you for the care and support you've shown to us. New baby in town. Get ready, because we're reserving a seat for you here to come and be co-host on the show.
Can I chip in that it was really nice speaking to her on the phone? And really, you know, I keep saying that mothers, you know, there are a lot of sacrifice that they make for us that I can tell you that nobody on earth can actually make that sacrifice. And on that note, I say again, we wish you longevity and sparkling of health. We pray that like Nigeria, like Yoruba people will say. For those who do not understand, let me give you an assignment. After all, you live in Lagos.
Let me help them. You will chop the food of Kike.
No, let's quickly guess what on this industry segment have to remind us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Reconnaissance Party of the Royal Niger Army, led by the General Officer Commanding Nigeria Military Force, Major General N.L. Foster, left Lagos in United Nations aircraft for Leopoldville, Congo. Mr. Julius Momo Udochi, former NCNC member for the Afema Division in the Federal Parliament, was appointed Nigeria's ambassador to the United States of America.
All right, Marshall, let me come to you quickly. What's your take on this industry segment? I know we bantered on it behind cameras, you know. What's your take on it?
Well, it just brings to mind you know, a lot of people have argued that, look, Nigeria was just a business enterprise, you know, being discovered and then eventually colonized and eventually owned some part of Nigeria by this Royal Niger Company, which eventually metamorphosed into the what we have today as Unilever. And when you look at the amount that it is, in simple terms, purported that the Nigerian protectorate was sold for, you know, you would want to begin to wonder if that is what your nation is worth, you know, the Royal Niger Company. But by and large, it has come to be known as Unilever now, and we understand that it's a conglomerate right now, and it has nothing to do with, because some time ago people were already, would I say chastising or persecuting them to say, look, now sell Nigeria. But no, it has gone beyond the role it played back then in 1914. It is now a private company and has nothing to do with Nigeria's colonization.
Okay, I think what I have here is the Royal Niger Company that was formed in 1886, and it was formed after British merchant George T. Goldie, who organized, and he was very active in the United African Company, and in the effect, he took personal control of the lower Niger. And just like Marshall said, I mean, we've heard sales of different parts of Nigeria. I mean, there are no sellers join the remaining, we remain. To God be the glory.
To God be the glory. I think you guys have said it all, but what is important for me is the bilateral relationship that I feel that we need to continue to foster, because it's important for us to understand that unity is key in this nation that we all live in. So on this note, let's go on a quick break to get some words from our sponsors. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Almost 30 states of the country have been in on-dates, including local communities along the banks of River Niger. And of course, Benue and Delta region as well have been affected. And in consequences, over 600,000 persons have been displaced, while over 80 people have lost their lives, according to CNN report. And as a national disaster, this is not the first time we have flood affect a number of states, or affect our people, or affect our environment. As we speak, it has extended to Delta State, Anambra, and of course other regions in the country, making a major contention for the government, and more severely circumstances, of loss of love and destruction of property. And of course, when I talk about destruction of property, I'm talking about what billions of naira. So on the show today, we will be interviewing a guest who is the stakeholder. He is Engineer Joe Igbokwe, a special advisor for drainage and water resources in Lagos State, and he's under Governor Sanwo-Olu. I think we should go and check his guest profile before we bring him. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Of course, it's a pleasure to have you, Engineer Igbokwe. I know this is your second appearance on this platform, but I must say that many thanks for creating time to be on the platform. It's a pleasure. How are you doing today, sir? Let's start from there.
I'm doing fine. You can feel it.
Obviously.
Feel it.
All right, thanks for putting a smile on our faces. But so, first off, let's go straight to the main conversation, because I feel that the release of the water from the Lago Dam on the Benue River in northern Cameroon, I feel that Nigeria and Cameroon have a bilateral agreement that Nigeria, will, embark on its own side, so to speak, And I must ask you, what are the, how would I put it, that the collaborative measures, between Nigeria and Cameroon on the water release that is now being affected or that is not being able to avert a flood disaster at the moment that is costing a lot of millions of money, or should I say billions of money, to Nigerians?
Well, this is Lagos. I'm in Lagos. That release from Cameroon, it happened few years back. It doesn't happen every year. It happened about 5-6 years ago. So I was listening to one expert. He said we need to build our own multiple small dams, to checkmate. What dam does is to hold water, body of water, and at the time you discharge. So over the years they've been asking the Nigerian government to build multiple along that corridor, because it goes from there, Lokoja, River Niger, Lokoja, River Niger, down, even up to River State. So we need to build our own small dams to control. That's it.
Control.
Because you must, once you have a dam, at the time you discharge.
Absolutely.
In Lagos here we suffer it when they release, when Oya Dam from Ogun State. There's one coming from Oyo. You have about 4 entries into Lagos, inflow into Lagos. But the one that gives us a lot of issues is the Oya Dam here in Ogun State. And so they discharge occasionally, and once this done, you see all the those corridors around the Jiri, Lagos Ibadan Road, expressway, then down to Oniri, that corridor. As if you're going to Ikorodu. It does happen. And people, that's why we say people should not live in coastal cities. There are areas that are supposed to be. They will call them wetlands. What they do is to serve as reservoirs. When the flooding is too much, they go there to settle. Within a very short time, in a few hours, they will just be going. So we call that flash flooding. But that's another one. The other one is the release of water from the dams. There's another one we call flash flooding, when it rains cat and dog. I saw it in Marina recently, early this year. It rained cat and dog in Lagos. And we saw cats being swallowed in Marina. Yeah. So it rained on Friday. On Saturday morning, I went there. Everything has disappeared. Because we have manholes, drains. It's just that the body of water is too much. So they will be fighting to enter the holes. But when the rain stops, 1 hour, 2 hours, you will see it into the lagoon. Because you have functional drainages here. In Lagos here, there are times you can't, the whole of Ahmadu Bello over here is flooded. Absolutely. What stopped it? A Atlanticity project. That Babbage is always flooded. So that Atlantic project, just raise the bar, the coastal land.
There's been another, thank you again, sir. There's been another news of this same Ogun State Dam, the Oya Dam. Yeah. And I've seen that, I read also that it might be affecting the people of the Isheri community and all of that.
Along that
corridor. So how is Lagos planning to help its own citizen as not to
They are
be
not
affected?
even supposed to build there.
Okay.
If I have my iPad here, I would have shown you areas you're not supposed to live. It's wetlands. So if you carry yourself to that place to go and live without permit, without C of O,
there will be no
don't call us.
or anything.
Don't go, because water must always find its own level. And it must flow to somewhere. It must come from somewhere and it must go to somewhere. Okay. There are natural water channels, or drains that you don't come close to. You're supposed to be 10 meters this side, 10 meters this side on our drains, so that we can clean it, because you maintain drains the way you maintain houses. That's what we do here in Lagos. Because this is a coastal city. Absolutely. And this is one of the, according to international records, Lagos is one of the sinking cities in the world, below sea level. If you look at Lekki, Ajah corridor, Songota, they are below sea level.
So, those areas, are they not supposed to be considered as wetlands too?
People build. Well, there are ways, there are wetlands, but there are ways you can control wetlands. You can build dikes. That's what we call dikes. Concrete slabs. Heavy concrete. You just raise it up. along coastal lines. That will block the water. It's happening in New Orleans,
So for me,
Netherlands, all those.
I hear a lot of very vibrant ideas coming from you, and I wondered. I try to juxtapose that with your presence, with the office that you currently hold, which is
Office of the Drainage.
Office of the Drainage. You know, some people have averred that you are more politically present within the ruling political party than, you know, being present infrastructurally speaking. Because if you've got all these brilliant ideas, I hear you say we need to.
Yeah.
So I'll be expecting to hear.
No, I'm talking about the corridor. That's
the
corridor
corridor of
project
the
corridor.
Lado Dam. So I'll be expecting to hear what has been done. And futuristically speaking, there should be projections. When you say, you know, the water bodies are huge, we've got huge water bodies. In those projections, with the weather and meteorological departments, there are forecasts that are, you know, in place. So we should be able to guard against the occurrences.
No, we do.
So let's have some of these infrastructural plans that have been carried out by you.
Okay, let me tell you. The job of, you know, I'm a publicist. It doesn't disturb me from doing my job. I'm an engineer by training. Just that I veered into talking and speaking and writing as if that's I'm super trained mechanical engineer. So we know what we're doing. It doesn't stop you from, and so can they train you to be versatile, to be good in humanities and social sciences, and you know. So that is it. But by the way, Lagos, where I serve as SA drainage, there's always a plan. Every year.
Every year.
We spend billions every year to dredge. Dredge means going into the canals and evacuate the waste people are dumping there. Our biggest problem is population in Lagos. It's exploding. Everybody is coming to Lagos. We generate almost 20 million tons of refuse. Not thousands, I'm talking about waste. Metric tons. 15 million few years back now is moving to. So, and these things people don't know how. We have 3 channels in Lagos. The tertiary channels in front of the houses, the secondary channels, and then the primary channels, the big one. All the things you see in the secondary channels and the primary channels are coming from our homes. The house, these drains, this one we call gutter in front of our houses. From that one in front of our house is going to the secondary channels and then to the primary channels. The big channels that will now take it to the lagoon and into the Atlantic Ocean. And sometimes the tide, the Atlantic Ocean will be high and it will not flow. You won't see it. It's we that will not.
All right.
You won't see it. But when it recedes, then what? It will start going in again. It will start moving to lagoon. It's just a way of life.
All right. We hear you, sir. You know, you've spoken about the metric tons, primary and secondary
channels, tertiary channels.
But you know, in September 2022, you know, the Nigerian government inaugurated the National Council on Climate Change, you know, and in pursuit of the implementation of the Climate Change Act of 2021, I believe. And I would like to ask you, because I feel that many of our people, you know, still count climate change and, will I say, global warming as scientific math. You know, they feel that, what are they talking about? Just like some of the causes that have happened in terms of flood in Pakistan and other parts of the world, you know. So collectively, with all that you've shared thus far, how should the tackling of climate change, you know, as a country come to play? How do you think that we should be tackling it going forward?
Well, you know, everything is all about planning.
Okay.
Knowing that disaster is coming, and you start preparing yourself. That's what is what I call Lagos a resilient city. That we're always prepared for the challenges ahead. That's why I will not call the amount of money we spend on dealing with our drainages every day. We can go and work in the climate channel, the biggest one. We can work on it this week. You do your work in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. There. If it rains again, If you go there, you believe that you've done anything there. Because you see PET bottles, you see takeaway place, all these small. You will see everything because people go into the dead of the night to go and dump bags of refuse into all these plastic PET bottles you see on the road. Once it rains, they will be into the drains. That's what it's
Okay.
All right, so sir, you know, I know that we don't want to talk about figures. We don't want to talk about money and the likes, because I really want to come into the intervention of President Goodluck Jonathan, you know, which he had to provide a relief of funds of almost 17.6 billion to various states to mitigate, you know, the effect of these challenges that we are talking about in terms of rates and review on intervention funds and programs, you know, that was actually done during President Buhari's administration, you know, in this current disaster. But with all these figures that I've just mentioned, you know, and yet you don't want to actually put it out there, some of the figures that have been spent, I really don't understand why we still face the same challenges year in, year out.
You see, I'm talking about Lagos. I don't know. If you say 76 divided by 36, including Abuja, is peanuts.
So what's
we are aligning a canal in Alimocho, Lagos here.
Okay.
And we're spending about 7 billion to do that. Aligning a canal means cementing it. It will take us 4 years to finish that job. Very difficult, working in very difficult terrains. Even for you to even go and walk in that canal, you have to get back your setbacks by force. You have to eject people. You have to demolish shanties to make way, so that you see where you put your stones, your gravels, sands before you start to walk. Very difficult. You know, some of us, you see, look at it. 4 years we will still be there.
Okay.
Doing a canal that is not up to 50 kilometers. Or even up to 20 kilometers.
Okay. My question.
Let's go on a quick break.
Sometimes it's not about money.
All right, let's go on a quick break to get the word from our sponsors. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, glad to know you're still with us. In case you just joined today's show, today's conversation is about flood disaster, you know, arising from the overflowing banks of the River Niger and, of course, the river avenue of Kogi State and a whole lot of places that have been affected, and, of course, 28 states also suffering from displacement of their lives and property based on this new development. Again, we have the special advisor for drainage and water resources to Lagos State Governor discussing with us the flood disaster, its consequences and intervention by the government. Of course, letting us know that there are some areas that we shouldn't have built houses. So guys, we are coming there. But before then, let me use this opportunity to open our phone line. Remember that you can be part of this conversation, and I will really hope that my listeners right now, you know, will call in if you are being affected. But the number to call is showing on your screen right now, is 0098877 400. Remember, we're also streaming live on our YouTube and, of course, Facebook page, so you can be part of this conversation. So let me say something to you quickly, because I know that each time water is released, you know, from the Oya Dam, you know, under the Ogun State River Basin Authority and all of that, which is part of the Ogun and Lagos State, that are being submerged, so to speak. Sir, what are the efforts? You know, I really want you to emphasize on the effort of management of these dams, when we cannot even manage the ones that are being developed by domestic river basin authorities.
Well, you know, we appeal ahead of time. The Ministry of Environment will always prepare ourselves for the discharge, because they will give us notice. Okay. And we tell the people, we always prepare for rainy season here in Lagos.
Really?
Check anything for
we
us.
do?
Yes, we do. We do.
I want to take an exception to that, and that was the question I really wanted to ask. I always say to people, I said, a part is the government, a part is the people. We are the government. Because I'll put a short story out. I think I've narrated before. I was on the road, and a woman having her daughter drive was tidying her child's diaper, her grandchild's diaper, in front of LTV8 Agidingbi. She was driving, I was in a tricycle, and the woman was dropping the diaper on the road. My sister can bear me witness. I left the tricycle, I picked the diaper and threw it in her car, and she started all manners of curses. And in my mind, I'm like, your causes cannot have effect on me because I'm doing the right thing.
Yes.
Now, what are the consequences? I saw the other day there was a video of a man who actually put death in front of LASMA officials, Loma officials, and he was apprehended. What are the consequences? Knowing that when the rain falls again, we find PET bottles, we find plastics, we find all manners of things around the market areas, and looking at even places that didn't used to experience flood heavily, Agege having even death casualties. The people, two of the people who died in the white SUV vehicles were friends of my brother in my house. So I knew that people died. And I'm wondering, how are we going to punish Nigerians for actually throwing death off their cars?
I get what you mean. Actions carry consequences.
Yes, sir.
I get what you mean. You know, sometimes when Fashola, I remember during Fashola's era, one man was caught by 5 a.m. So well-lettered man who was going to work, just dropping these things into the drains, and he was caught. You go and start picking on in Ghana. It happens everywhere. If it's in Ghana, you go and pick. They will hold you for hours or days. You go and start picking pen bottles everywhere in Ghana. After doing that, you'll not be able to do it again. We do it, though. We do it. But the problem is that you have this huge influx of people in Lagos.
The population.
So
Sir, I might have to interrupt today. We have a caller that have been holding on. Aminu from Kogi State. Many thanks for calling. What's your contribution on the topic at hand? Please go straight to the point.
Thank you very much. I really love the program, and then it's quite important that we need to take our sanitation very, very important, because all of those disasters that happen, sometimes we might see it as man-made. Just like what my sister is saying on the studio here. It's quite unfortunate that people are not taking care of their environment, because as at some time ago, they used to do monthly sanitation, and everybody used to take care of their environment. And people are even building under the drainage lane. As we speak today, there's no structure. Even in those places that flood is able to take somebody will just come and take structure and put on the drainage lane.
Many thanks, Aminu. Yeah.
Well, my question would be, sir, we've heard so much. In fact, what pricked me right now when you said in Ghana, and the keen way with which you said in Ghana, I wish you had deployed that keenness in saying in Nigeria or in Lagos specifically. You just chipped it in and said, we do. And knowing fully well that it's not something that is complete knowledge. But my question would be,
offenders.
My question would be, you as the advisor, special advisor, assistant to the governor on flood drainage, what are you doing, or what is your department or your department doing to compensate people who have lost lives, property? Because it is one thing to say, look, this is a disaster waiting to happen, let's mitigate it. And it's another thing to say the disaster has happened, let us move to bring succor to the victims. Tell us, sir.
We tell you that our canal must have 10 meters setback here, 10 meters setback to the
Precautionary.
side. And you must not build there. So if you go to build there and water takes your house away, don't call us.
Good. What about the person who didn't build there but he fell victim?
How?
He didn't build there, but
Probably
he died as a result of what came out of there. Like she was talking about the two occupants of a vehicle who died. You should look at how to compensate people. You should look at how to bring back life to these people, these communities that have been ravaged by flood.
If you have a disaster,
yes,
that one is a different thing than for you to go and break.
That's what we're saying, sir. You've not said anything about what you're doing to compensate these people, because they're watching and they're asking. So many houses, so many homes, people have been sacked from their homes.
Where are the homes domiciled? You've not answered the question. If you go to build where you're not supposed to build, don't.
So
wait
they are
for
not supposed to get.
They are supposed to charge you. They are supposed to charge you for bringing shame to us.
Oh, really?
Yes, for going to, nobody gave you that place. Apparently, you did not buy it. So why are you building there? But if you have a natural disaster like we have now, then government will come out. I'm sure government is doing something.
So when you are saying government coming out, because I know that in Anambra and of course in Kogi State, you know, we've seen their state governors, you know, Soludo and Bello, you know, identifying with the people while other state governors in affected states are too busy with pre-2023 elections.
Exactly.
As far as I'm concerned, their political rallies is even more important to them in terms of talking about the floods and the likes. I'm not seeing some. So I'm getting somewhere because they obviously consider that their political. Yes, I feel that they obviously consider that their political ambition is more important to them than the people's agony. You know, so I must ask you from what angle, because based on what Marshall is asking, from what angle of intervention is the government coming in now to actually, you know, show some level of empathy?
In Lagos, are you talking about Lagos?
Yes,
are you talking about other states?
No, Lagos. You're not the SA in other states. You're the SA in Lagos.
Yes.
So tell us what you're doing.
Lagos is a sophisticated city, and we're doing a lot.
What are
When you do your work, when you pay school fees for your children, and then you buy clothing for them, you don't need to beat your chest. It's your duty.
So
your
tell
responsibility.
We do our jobs. We do our jobs. First, we go to ascertain what is going on.
Okay.
And there are structures in place to deal with those challenges. Nobody will come and tell you what government is doing. We visit them. Even though you are not supposed to build that particular spot where you build, but we still go because probably there was loss of lives. We go. We're not just, you know, let them go and, no. When you do this, you don't have to go to the newspapers and announce it. You do it quietly and walk away. We do. We do.
I must mention the way you've been so soft-spoken on this matter. I actually, you know, Kike, I think she was just trying to be economical with words. And but in Lagos State, that people are more concerned and not trying to make it direct. Because like I said, my first question was, you seem to be more politically present in the matters of 2023 than this particular matter.
Don't forget that I've been a publicist for Lagos for 15 years. I was the publicity secretary. So because I maintain a page on Facebook, and it's my hobby to be there. It's not that I don't do my job. We have our own, we are policy makers. We design, we plan. We go to school and design a plan. We now take it to our ministries where you have whole lots of directors, engineers, so many people, you know, working. That is their job. We have director drainage. We have director, you know, planning. We have also director construction. That's yes. So they work together. Our own is to present what's going to happen, tell them where the problem is, and they will go.
But
lots
usually,
of engineers down the line.
Usually, sir, there's this deficit around Lagos that we notice when there's a drainage being evacuated or cleared. They clear it right on the road, and it stays there till another rain comes in and pushes it back. That's like moving in vicious circles.
Awareness, orientation.
I mean, why don't you bring the dirt out and there is a steady truck waiting for it to be evacuated completely? Knowing that when there's rain, another set of dirt will still come back to that area. Why the same one over and it's been reoccurring?
No, we have trucks that do that. Evacuate them. Yes.
There's one presently on Agege Road.
Even there's one in Aguda now. Sometimes when we bring it out, we allow the water to drain out before you come to evacuate it. Otherwise, you're just messing up the whole streets if you take immediately. So there are ways we do all these things.
Sir, you know, you've been talking about the ways, you know, that you go about it. The ways.
Maybe if you pass through a spot and you just saw it.
But sir,
have you seen one lasting 1 month, 2 years?
This was for about 4-5 days.
Sir,
call us.
Sir,
there's anything to be in one part of Lagos, you won't know what is going on.
Sir, we will definitely bail you, because at this point, I think, yes, we know where you belong when it comes to the political arena. Of course, we are supporting and
no, just a hobby.
I feel that the odds right now are against your party, especially when it comes to this campaign period. We are talking about flood in Lagos. No, we are talking about flood right now. We are talking about insecurity.
And I do my job.
We are talking about unemployment. There are quite a number of issues that we are foreign exchange, inflation, name it, and the likes and all of that.
So
when you say it will never stop,
to the end of age,
then when do you think? Who do you think will bring, who is the leader, visionary leader that will bring the change that the people have been craving for, to bring about sanity in our environment. Because all this flood and the like, it seems to be a year in, year out. And I need to ask you, in terms, you know, he said it will never stop. Why will you say
this is
like
a coastal city? This is a coastal city.
A coastal city that I believe
that
the people need a step-to-step approach.
Wait now.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Did you see the flooding?
Yes.
In Florida? Did you see?
Yes, Florida, Japan.
Did you see the havoc? Did you see the one in Pakistan?
I mentioned the one in Pakistan.
These are, it will happen. These are natural phenomena.
Okay.
That you cannot stop.
So it must be a
they even
climate
see, we
change
predict, they
that
see
we
it.
must always prepare ourselves for.
When you live in coastal city below sea level, you have to plan for it.
Okay.
That's why I mentioned what is called dikes. Dikes. Like we went to offshore, Osborne offshore. Some of the houses here are underwater. They called the experts. Julius Berger said, well, there are two things we must do here. Either to build a dike. You know what I mean by dikes?
Yeah,
concrete wall to barricade them so that it will not come in. Another one is to create a big tunnel, a big hole, big deep, so that all the flood can come enter inside it. And thereafter, you pump out. Okay. And at Delabu Street, where I live, there's a house, an old house, it's come below the drains. What they did in that house is to create a big well there, big borehole. They just dug a well there, and the water will go in there. Thereafter, they will pump it out. These are creativities, right, to make things happen. So when you live in coastal cities, like in New Orleans, a part of life. Netherlands was never a space; it was swamp. Netherlands. Yeah, that's why when you get there, you see people living on.
I'd love to take him up on his hobby.
Living on boats. Living on boats.
You're the queen. You're the queen.
We will definitely bring you back on the show. But again, I must say many thanks for all your support.
If we don't do our job, we won't live in Lagos.
I'm hoping.
Because we work when you're sleeping. You will know what we do.
But what's
your job brought you to Lagos? You said you would have been a shoemaker.
That's what I want to say.
No, we're not saying what I'm about to say, because
I didn't just start thing you read though.
I
didn't say it.
You didn't say.
Wow. People can just use my name, write something, and
because they said you.
If you don't verify, you know.
So some things are verifiable.
Yes.
We're not talking politics.
No, we shouldn't go there.
All right. Again, I say many thanks for coming on the platform today. It's been an interesting time with you. We are hoping that those who are listening, will be comforted with some of the things that you've shared, and will see change in terms of intervention going forward. Quickly,
there's something you mentioned here that I want to address. You are saying that things are not working. This inflation is all over the world.
Yes, correct, sir.
In America, one man brought out a finger of banana. $1. The man was screaming. $1, a finger of banana. It's about 700 and something. 700 and something naira here. You use it to buy 10 or 6, 7 bunch.
I wish I can actually take you on this conversation.
I'm available.
It's just unfortunate that
I'm
available. We need to touch on
Let me come and defeat you people, because you say you have to speak grammar. We are outside.
Okay, we need to touch on the last segment.
When I want to do some work on the drains again, I'll come.
Maybe when last did you wear your romper?
Before it floods here, let's allow Kike take us to the next segment before it begins to flood here. Kike, please go.
All right, sir. Again, many thanks. So we are moving on to the last segment of the show, which is the trending story. These are stories that binds you and I as Nigerians, that interest us all, that is important to our people watching us right now. And the first trending story that caught our attention is that of the lecturer harassing the female students over skateboard. Quickly, I'm not sure if you've seen it, sir, but it's all over the place. Yes. But Marsha, let me come to you first. What's your take on this?
When I saw that video, I said to Dami, I do not know how it started. It started midway, where the lecturer was seen holding the girl, and she was trying to make a case for herself, and the man kept calling on security to apprehend the lady and to also seize her skateboard, her device, her mobile device, so to speak. number one, the man had no reason to say that her skateboard should be impounded. And then number two, holding a student like that, I think it is quite not proper. And then number three, calling the security to come and arrest the girl and her companion was utterly wrong. Utterly wrong. I do not want to know how they met. Probably was road rage. Both of them using the road. I also agree that certain rules should be in place. If skateboards are not allowed within the institution, she should be told. And if she had been repeatedly told, then a case can be made for her to be suspended.
Penalties.
You know, penalties can be set out, and not that kind of physical harassment and assault.
All right, many thanks, Marshall, for your submission. I want to start off by saying that it is extremely ridiculous. Ridiculous in the sense that I just feel that it's funny and at the same time barbaric that our lecturers, you know, can take things to another level. I'm asking myself, how could you harass a female student like that, hold her on such an aggressive manner in the name of skateboarding, whatever,
yes.
You know. Besides, I wonder what is the role of the lecturer in the university. And the reason why I'm putting this out there is the fact that I just feel that are they not the lecturers that are supposed to attend to a lot of, you know, frivolous activities that is like skateboarding in the first place? Is it what ASU strike has actually reduced lecturers to? Because I'm asking in pain, because when looking, you know, one house please, you know, looking at this video, I'm wondering if ASU challenges have not stepped in, maybe we might not have gone through something like. If the lady had also violated the university rules, there should be a more civilized channel, you know, for addressing such matters. So I'm asking, why should it be that our lecturers are acting in an uncivilized, you know, or will I say uncivilized, in a civilized learning environment? You know, we expect more from our lecturers. You know, the lecturer has no right to handle the students, or not just even a female student, any student as such, and it should be taken upon by the university authority. If you ask me, there must be penalties. You know, there must be severe actions that must be taken against such injustice, because I look at this as an injustice. It will get to a place where it will even become worse. You know, we've seen certain situations, we've addressed certain situations on this platform, and we've seen our lecturers sometimes, you know, bringing up students with all sort of taxing money and the likes and all that. Perhaps, you know, this thing could turn into the society in a way that, you know, it could turn to a jungle of animals, so to speak, for lack of a better word right now. So on a final note, I'm putting it out there, right? I feel that University of Ibadan should take this up and act appropriately. If not addressed, there are one of these, you know, many cases like this that I feel that, you know, it must never have generated to a place where a student, you know, is revolting, because this is what actually comes to a place where you start seeing them holding placards, you know, revolting and the likes and all of that. And you know, a lot of havoc happens in campuses today based on actions of our lecturers without them understanding that it is because of what they have done. What ends the reason why the students are acting like that. But quickly, let me come to you, our guest. What's your take on this story?
Well, I'm trying to get a clear picture of what happened here.
She was using her skateboard, and then the man, that's the lecturer holding her.
Yeah, she's not supposed to use it or what? Well, it's a minor problem compared with what happened the other time. I don't know whether you did discuss it the way you are discussing this one, when a young man went into an office of a lecturer in one of the universities and beat her up. Beat the woman up mercilessly, a student.
It was discussed.
You know, discuss it. This one is a minor thing compared.
So you're saying you're calling a lecturer molesting physically a female student?
No, I'm not saying I condemn this. You know, I don't know the history. I don't know. I'm just seeing it for the first time. Maybe I'm still going to study it. What is bad, and what is good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's go on the second trendy story. I'll come to you, Damilola. And the second trendy story, I like the fact that our guests right now have condemned violence. And the second trendy story today is about domestic violence, which a woman escapes from being burnt. Damilola, quickly, what's your take on this?
Well, I think the way we've always said it and the way life is, there's nothing that is by force. If it's not going to work, you people can part ways separately, I mean, amicably, peacefully. just for the sake of the children, because it's an institution and the institution must have birthed different companies. And how do you want your children to be perceived? Okay, now if the man burns his wife, what stories do you want your children's mates and their colleagues to tell them later in the future? So I think I would also put it to you, sir. I know that the state is doing so much in terms of domestic violence, sexual violence, and all of that. Offenders. Yes, Lagos State, I say kudos to Lagos State for doing that. But also, we should keep the awareness going. Because a lot of men, just like you said, the lecturer, it was totally no need. But because Nigeria has been a country of no consequence, most times, 70% of times, there's no consequence. Actions are just flying around and people feel that, and people would even threaten you that I will do it and nothing will happen. And truly, nothing will happen. But how long do we want to continue with that, sir?
All right, many thanks for your submission. Yes, sir, quickly.
Okay.
I've seen some people who live in block of flats, and one will be every other day there will be noise in a particular flat. All they need to do is to report. There are agencies of government that deal with that kind of domestic violence and all kinds of things in Alausa there. You won't know until you get there, until they come. But let us not be onlookers. Commissioner of Police Lagos says, if you see something, say something.
Fantastic.
All right, many thanks for that. If you see something,
say something.
I think that we live in an environment where sentiment comes into play when it comes to the marital home. And I wonder when we women, I think it's important for me to emphasize on it, when we women will learn. I wonder when we will begin to place our safety, sanity, and children ahead above love and emotions. I learned that, yes, this actually took place or happened in Lekki, and the so-called, I can't remember the name now, IVD had badly beaten her to coma with her pregnancy in 2019. And when this happened, though, after the whole issue, they reconciled, sir, and still posted a reconciliation message online. And I think that is where emotions comes into play. Sometimes I feel that I need to actually emphasize on this, because it's laughable when who tell you that people that are serial beaters or domestic violence spouses change. The fact that they reconcile doesn't mean that he has changed. And according to this lady who has narrated the story online, her friend, she said she's a friend, she's a victim and the likes and all of that, complaining about a lot of marital challenges to her and all of that, even during WhatsApp exchange and all that. She has initially exposed the guy, Marshall. The question is, why is it that we women, we always feel that they will repent. We always feel that the violence will end. We always feel that, and this abuse has lingered on for 19 years, of marriage. I'm baffled. What still remains in a marriage that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry to say, is dead. When a man continually abuses you, I pray God saves her life for our kids, because obviously the so-called husband wants to continue to terminate her life. That's the only way I look at it, because I do not understand.
Let me help you, just one sentence.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
It's not only one. You're speaking about one side.
Okay, help me balance.
There are also men that are being abused.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely, sir.
They beat their husbands to stupor. There are women that are more powerful and more strong, stronger than men. I'm telling you. So don't look at it that way. Some women are bullying their husbands.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to strike a balance of violence. We're talking about this particular
I'm telling you. That's what I'm
sir,
saying.
I just think that the government must do something drastically
Lagos
now.
has an office.
Yes,
It allows them. If you are challenged with the issue of domestic violence.
All right. Many times we have to run off now. We have to run off.
There are lawyers, hundreds of lawyers that
we have to run off now. I just feel that there should be stiffer penalties and punishment for those violators that actually engage in things like that. All right. So this so we say again, many thanks to you, our resourceful guests, for all that you have shared with us, for creating time to be here this afternoon, our lunch show. Again, I want to say to people, remain kind to one another. So we'll come your way next week. Please put a smile on somebody's face. Bye now.
Bye now.